All right, welcome to Messenger Motorworks. We are in the interior of my 2002 Saab 9.5 Aero. We're about to embark on what might be the worst thing I've ever had to do to a car. And that includes replacing engines, transmissions, rebuilding engines, suspension work, brake lines. Brake lines are awful things to do. You can see Ross out there starting to take apart the windshield wipers. This dashboard has to come apart, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck really bad. Why it needs to come apart is because my HVAC box is cooked. It's just trash. I dealt with it last year by basically jamming the blend doors and all of that into the right spots, and then basically just hooking the motors back up, but then unplugging them. So I would just have some defrost and some floor, because the blend drum or the directional drum is just jammed up, so the motor can't even move it. Well, it can move it one way, and then it would get stuck, and I would just have vent, so that doesn't work very well in the wintertime. Also, the heat blend door for the passenger side is stuck and broken, and it's not just the lever. The lever is actually connected to the inner bit and still spins. It's broken beyond that point, so the passenger never gets warm air. My wife would be over here just shivering and freezing. Well, I mean, we almost never take my car when we ride as a family, but you know, it's pretty inconvenient. And then of course this thing would just throw codes constantly. It would blank out and reset, because it's dealing with its own set of issues, not having the motors connected and all of that sort of thing. So I was given a new used HVAC box, and it's from the newer model that have the thicker arms and things like that on them that don't snap. But again, that's not really my issue. I've put aluminum on some of my parts, but it just doesn't matter because the inside is actually broken. These things were made with very inferior plastic, and it's probably not a good design. I'd love to blame it on GM, but it's probably Saab's tendency to be a little bit overly complex with simple processes that led to the failure of these units on so many cars. I've actually heard of 9.5s being trashed just because the HVAC system was so broken, that it and the cost was worth more than the car itself. And if I wouldn't have gotten a nice box, I wouldn't be buying another box, but I was given a box. So the opportunity to put a good HVAC system in this car is pretty tempting, especially since I want it to go another year. So we're gonna rip this dash apart. Ross is out there taking the stuff off the cowl. We're gonna see if we can disassemble some of the box inside and just replace the bits, but probably not. The whole box is very likely going to have to come out, and if it does, I'll just put the entire new box in here. So yeah, that's that. We're going to speed through a lot of this to do kind of a cool time-lapse video of the disassembly and reassembly. It'll stop every now and then when I'm when I talk, if I'm rambling on or something like that. Otherwise, there'll just be some nice royalty-free music playing that I picked up. So yeah, enjoy my misery. This should be genuinely an awful experience. Yeah, so enjoy my misery. Okay? All right, here we go. My fix for a vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you pick up any duct tape?
shit. Top tip. This is your steering wheel angle sensor. You don't want to be sitting there turning that thing a bunch of times. Oh, I just noticed something. As soon as I unplugged that thing, it locked itself into place. So plugging that in must press in a button and allows it to rotate, because now it won't rotate.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look at that little protrusion there. Not that you can see that on the camera because you're far away, but there's a little protrusion there. And I'm betting that that locks that into position. And it's lined up, this yellow mark here at the top is lined up directly to the top. So we'll kind of know whether or not our steering is still at the correct angle. It's good shit there.
That's the spirit.
All right, day 2, or really beginning hour 3. We've got the main part of the dash off. We need to get this metal bar out of the way. Here is the beginning of us being able to actually see the box. So we've got to pull wiring off of it. We got to get this bar out of the way. We got to get these grounds out. And then some of this other stuff hopefully won't need to come off. But it's not looking good. This console might have to come off. This whole shifting mechanism might need to come up and slide this way because this bit here is riveted on, and it's going to be a nightmare. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how far we get today during my couple hours of allotted garage time. Yeah? Here we go. See if I can capture the problem here. Now, we've got the air intake out of the way. My assistant's gonna hold that. Got all these nice vacuum lines. What we've got here, let's hit this down. That's gonna be uncomfortable for the viewers, but so we've got two rusty nuts there that need to be taken out. There's one on the other side, and then I really can't get my finger down in there. This is one of the heater hoses. You can kind of see there where it attaches to the firewall, and then there's another heater hose there. And now I'm just blocking the light that attaches. Those have to come off, and then the AC line is below those. So, lest anybody think that this is fun or easy, it simply isn't. It's a total nightmare. So that's going to be the challenge now. So we're going to get started on that. Welcome back to the nightmare. I mean, you've just been watching I think that's a bit crooked, isn't it? Hold on a moment. Uncomfortably close to the camera. Level that out some. Okay. Well then. The nightmare. You've been watching a accelerated view of this process. I've lost some video because I got a little sloppy with the memory management on my phone and just let the phone just sit there and record for long periods of time with nothing actually being shown, and I filled up my phone. So I lost some video, not having realized that it had stopped recording. So this is loose. It's all floppy. I've had to drill out rivets to move plates. We've had to remove this seat. I just simply cut the ducting on the other side, and I'll duct tape it back together because who gives a fuck. I'm going to try to lift this out. My help is missing. I don't know where Ross is, but he's not currently present, so I'm going to try to lift this thing out by myself. It's still, it's still going to have coolant in it and whatnot, so, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to certainly give it a try. Okay? All right. We are out, bro. That's amazing. He shows up, ladies and gentlemen. I was talking about you on camera.
Oh yeah?
Been all like, my help's missing. Okay, here we are. We got the box out of the car. We're gonna try to put the box in the car. We've had to move over quite a few things because they didn't come on my free new box, thanks to the guy out there in Iowa City again. Of course, moving over the motors, the steppers that move the assorted doors. Like we got the heat control here, and then we have the air direction control. Down here, this part, I suspect this box was out of a somewhat newer car because it had a lot of the robust upgrades, which means that the little levers had the extra plastic on them Maybe I'll show an image here comparing the two, where Saab really underdid it to begin with. So this box already has the strong levers, and then it has this upgraded section down here that I can only kind of see the reason for it is to keep these bars from binding and putting too much stress on the lever arms and breaking them, because that was a really big problem. My box had something broken internally with the heat control on the passenger side, so regardless of what you were doing with out here, it wasn't actually turning the inside. Not even replacing the whole shaft with the aluminum was fixing it. So a big problem that we figured out that we had when we got this thing apart is these flappers here that control whether or not you're getting inside or outside air are controlled by a little stepper motor that sits here, and it moves a flap. It moves it with this little piece of garbage here. So these things break. They break right there. I'm sure you can kind of see that seam. Now I've ordered one of these things. They're only $23, esaabparts.com. Pretty easy to get, but I'm really impatient. So what Ross and I have done here is fabricated a little disaster. We formed a piece of flat plastic and drilled some holes in it so that glue would gush out, and bonded that to this surface to kind of hold its shape that way. And that wasn't enough, of course. I mean, we knew, but whatever. It's hard to tell though, so what we ended up doing is we kind of held it together with a clamp, and we drilled. You can see my black Sharpie marker there. We drilled through the two pieces, and then put a same-sized steel dowel sort of thing in the form of the actual drill bit that we used to drill the hole, because I had nothing else that matched, and I figured that cheap drill bit would live a really nice life inside of this thing. So it is pretty rigid now. We let it sit. It cured for, I mean, probably 4 hours. We use JB Weld's mix whatever for plastics, you know, I think it might hold for a little while, maybe. Not the sketchiest thing that we've done, but it'll be exciting to see if it actually does its job. So it mounts to a little motor configuration and then slides up into here, but the installation of it is very tedious and difficult and might break the part just trying to get it in. I imagine you could easily break a brand new part just trying to get the thing assembled, because it's very difficult to get it all in here and get it to snap into place. Saab really went way too hard on getting that done. So Ross is handing me the parts here. Here's the casing that it fits into, and this mounts into the box like this. Now we have to put this in here in the configuration pinned to external air, and that's where we have the motor locked to, and I'll show a picture. We had to take this motor apart and clock it. How I suspect these things work, well, it's got a gear set in there and it's got a little motor in there. And when the car calibrates, when the HVAC control calibrates the system, it runs all the way to run side until it hits resistance, and runs all the way to the other side and hits resistance, and basically saves those marks for closed and opened. This thing, because it had been broken for who knows how long in my old box, was clocked in a completely different place that it never could actually get to if it was configured properly. So pretty sure it just kind of lines up or uses resistance to find its location once you do that initial calibration. So with this clocked all the way that way, this is clocked in the right spot already, probably. I should be able to just slide these two pieces. Get a nice little satisfying snap there. Put a few screws in, a couple screws in. Try to get this thing snapped into the box. Hopefully not fail, and then we will be on the road to reinstalling this thing. So we're gonna get on with that and see how it works. Okay. We're gonna put this piece of back into here. There she is. Oh. I've misplaced the bar.
Disgusting animals.
We are just really revolting creatures who are also idiots, because I just set down that metal bar I've been carrying around for the last 10 minutes and she gone.
Well, yeah. It was like right over here.
I've been carrying it around. I think I'll have to go through. All right. Ross is hooking up the battery. It's about 12:30, probably 12:20 in the evening. The dash is mostly back together. All the critical bits are there. I'm gonna not stand here. Go ahead and put the power on. I was getting nervous after disconnecting airbags. We good?
Yep.
Okay. So we are just gonna flick on the key and see if the system works. Ross, do you want to pause that? Because I want to be able to hear the box really well. So I'm going to click this on, and I'm immediately going to run a self-diagnostic thing here. Run diagnostic. Come on. It's refusing to do it. Oh, you know what? Start engine to set ACC. We've got to start this thing.
Yeah.
We should be able to, right?
Yeah, you should be.
If you move that light.
The light's not actually on the motor.
Oh. guess we'll start it. I can't really get the clutch down with the seat all the way back. Here we go. That worked really well. The only bummer is my airbag light came on, which makes me wonder, is there a second plug underneath the seat that we did not connect?